All right there, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Hello. How's everybody doing? How are we doing today? Oh. What's going on? Let me turn the music down just a tad and cycle to my other playlist real quick. And then we will be good. All right. Hello. All right. Let me pull my other thing. There we go. Beautiful. Dude, I cannot wait to migrate the design document over to Wikidot. That will be so much faster than Google Docs. So slow. Okay. So today we are going to be working on the first Protoss mission. We're going to be trying out that thing I said I was going to try out the last time I did a Modstream, which is just designing the AI and not really worrying too much about doing all of the menial pre-placing of units and structures and stuff. You know, we'll handle the skeleton of the code. And we'll deal with the expansions later on. I feel like it's probably the best way to go about doing it at this point. So, I think this is when he was still Emerald, now he's Mint. So I'm just going to change him to MI. Me work or me expand? Me upgrade. Which does remind me, I should probably reload the chats here. Okay, cool. Beautiful. It was me. I can actually do weight build probe now, so that's cool. I had iQuare redo the code for that, which was very nice of him, very useful. There was a problem before where there wouldn't actually be any way for you to tell the AI to weight build for like a number of workers. That would bug out. And so that bug has been resolved. Pretty nice. Let me check what the priorities were here. 90, 80, 75, 65. I just wanted to... Sure. Now, if I remember correctly, this AI handles 0 through 12 or something like that? Two, three, four. Oh, maybe we never, yeah, I don't think I wrote in everything for its other expansions, so that would be why. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he has up to 12 expansions or something ridiculous, so we're just going to set this guy to 20. And I probably won't be doing that many expansions, at least not for every AI. I feel like the reason why it makes sense to do that many for the single-player AI ally is that he's meant to be as competent and as permanent as a human player would be in that situation. And so I think that only makes sense. Oh, that reminds me. I actually did make a ramp while I was waiting for some of this stuff. I went ahead and I think I did something that will allow this to look like it was, you know, paved as part of a road. I believe that's what happened here. This will be finding out pretty soon. It doesn't look like the... it looks like I rendered it with the wrong palette. Instead of the no cycle palette, I rendered it with the cycle palette, which is a little unfortunate. I'll have to re-render that at some point. That's why you see it sparkling. And I also did accurate pathing, so I'll have to redo that. That's okay. Sometimes you just gotta redo some work, you know? Just to remind you what not to do in the future. What's up, Bailiffal? You know, I don't see you in my YouTube chat. Let's refresh that. Okay, I had to refresh it twice. Perfect. Functional service. I only saw you because I was making sure that I had set the tags correctly. Would have been a little awkward. Alright. So yeah, my objective here is just to get Fenix operational and hopefully move on to one of the Zerg here. What's up? I don't know how to say your name. Is it Dia or Dia? Just say first or second. But welcome. Is it neither? Neither the first nor the second? Either way, welcome to the stream. YouTube's been weird recently, needed to reload a video a bunch because it gets stuck loading. I feel like that is far too common, yes. I was looking through the... I had linked the like alpha or whatever, the betas, for the first two Terran missions. Earlier I linked those to some random guy, and I just realized, like, I didn't do it over Discord. He doesn't know that I have a Discord server. If he does, he's not on it. And so I was like, oh shit, I should probably add a readme or something for like setup, troubleshooting, how to reach me, in case like somebody like that finds that link and, you know, or whatever. I'm also still like, I'm really not 100% sold on this area, but maybe the ramps that I get from DF eventually will work here. I'm not really sure. Like, I feel like this is going to be too bad for pathing. But speaking of pathing, though, I did end up going through and updating the pathing of a lot of the ramps. This one in particular was having a lot of problems, and I realized is because, like, you know, it's just a smaller ramp, but if you have an army moving through it, like, the AI is kind of silly about that stuff. And as much as I handhold it with, like, better regions or whatever, at some point it's going to cycle some men over there. So I didn't want them to get caught through. And then I realized there was actually a discrepancy between the way that I set up my pathing and the way that Blizzard set up my pathing. So right here, where I have selected, is mostly pathable on the normal doodad, on the normal ramp. And I was, when I saw that earlier today, before I was getting set up for this stream, I was like, wait, what? That's pathable? And I'll show you, like, we'll go over to the other one. Where is it? Here it is. And you can see, this is the normal doodad. And that is pathable. And I was like, that doesn't look pathable. It looks like part of the rock. So, just to be consistent with what players are already used to, I wound up updating all of my ramps that use that kind of visual indicator, like over here as well, to be a little bit more pathable in that case. So, like, this one's been trimmed down a little bit. This one's been opened up a lot. I also opened up this side a lot, which isn't normal, but decided to do it anyway. Just because these ramps are very small. So, yeah, I think it'll be okay. It'll work out okay. It looks like I missed a spot over here, unfortunately. That's I have to redo the whole thing anyways. It is a very silly system, whatever they use. Well, Dragoons and Goliaths also move. I've actually fixed that in, I'll show that off here in a second while I'm chugging Rockstar and getting ready to really be a man, but ignore Necron's mother. So I actually was messing around with this, and the reason why they fuck up a lot is actually because they move at different animation, or they move different speeds depending on their animations. And so normally, you see how, like, when I order my units to, like, they sort of bunch up in some areas, and, like, some of them start moving before others. Like, sometimes the back ones start moving before others. In the normal game, when this happens, the Dragoons will try to move further than they're allowed to when moving into another Dragoon that's, you know, either further along or earlier, like earlier or later in their animation for walking. And so, like, sometimes they move 2 units, and other times they move 5 units, and other times they move 4, and so on. In mine, I just stabilized it to 4. I standardized it, and Dragoons now tend to move a lot better. Like, you can see they're still sort of futzing around, but, you know, we can just have them spin around for a while. It's a lot more responsive. And the same is true for Goliaths. Like, that's why these 2 units were immortal for that sort of thing. But particularly Goliaths feel a lot better. I think it's probably because they move a little bit faster as a result. But Dragoons move a little bit slower as a result because I had to standardize the speeds. And I only had so many animation frames to pick from. I probably could have made them move a little bit faster as well anyways. Maybe I will decide to do that if I feel like they've been hit too hard by the nerfs. But they have an upgrade that improves their shield energy anyways, so, like, maybe that'll be enough to offset. Like, they can actually take a little bit more beating. But that was important to me because actually one of the things that I was thinking when I was working with, or I was playing Armies of Exego a long, long time ago, back in, like, 2017, I think. But maybe it was 2018, early 2018. I played Armies of Exego on stream, and one of the things that I noticed was, like, one of the things that they changed, or one of the things that they have that was different than what Brood War had, is that generally the pathing was okay. Like, it was better compared to Brood War. And that game took a lot, like, very heavily inspirationally sourced from Brood War. A lot of the mechanics that they had, and, you know, it was a lot more like Brood War than any other RTS. And to me, that was really cool. And I sort of agree, like, I don't know if that was a decision that they made. They said, we want better pathfinding or more cleaner, more automated pathfinding than Brood War. If you take away, like, whether or not you think it's better or worse, just thinking of, like, an objective way to characterize it. That, to me, was a lot better for expressing gameplay, even though it's such a small change in the grand scheme of things, because it means that players are free to use their APM on actions that are going to be more exciting to watch and more impactful in the grand scheme of things. So, like, they're going to be better. It's better for the multiplayer scene. It's better for people who are watching. It's better for people who are playing if they're not beholden to some really archaic system, I think. Now, generally, units still try to move to where you tell them to move. And the invisible system in Brood War's AI, or, like, pathfinding-wise, is really just, like, the paths that they take are kind of silly. But in other games, it's, like, infinitely worse, I think, because you have stupid shit like the AI, like having squad mechanics or formation systems or something, and that completely takes control away from you in order to, like, you can't really do anything at that point to control your units. You know, that control is being taken away from you, so I really don't like that at all. SE2 is really screwed up because of attack delays being too long because they try to match fancy animations. It's funny that they have fancy animations. Like, I know what you mean by that. But all are also just, like, everything in StarCraft 2 looks so terrible. Like, I don't know how they managed to, how did they manage to fall so far from, like, the simple, basic shit that they had going in Brood War? It just doesn't... boggles the mind, man. So... oops, I closed PyDat. That's okay, I don't really need it right now anyways. Well, that digression is over with, but figured I would show you guys. I have, in fact, improved the pathfinding. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The stab animations. No, I agree with you. I think, I just feel like maybe it would be a little bit more tolerable, I guess is the word I'm thinking of. If, I think it would be more tolerable if the art was at least good. Like, I would have understood it more, but they just failed everywhere globally. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Anything that takes player control away because of long animations, it's got to be a deliberate decision. It's got to be like, you know, I've got ideas for Hydra, like increasing the animation cast time for Yamato Gun, because it's a huge damage nuke, and it's single target, and it's lock-on, and I'm increasing its range, so it's even more of like a siege weapon in that sense. But now it's got a much higher cast time, so it feels more like a large-scale ability. And like I'm adding cast times to a few things that lock out, you know, player commands or whatever. Or not really lock out player commands, I guess, but you can like cancel them. And to me, that's like a valid use of longer animation times, because you're like, it's part of the risk and reward. But I don't think that the reasoning is that far thought through most of the time. So I should pull out the palette. So I mean, I don't think that I'm like some really intelligent man when it comes to this stuff. I don't understand why it's so difficult to get people to see, or get developers to see more specifically, like what's wrong with their shit. But maybe, I mean, again, it's like a super complicated topic to even get into, because it's just, there's so much shit going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to as to, you know, what people think is important. At some point, I've got to institute the brush system. I got to start using that. That's going to be a lot better for placing these tiles. SI has done a lot of work with that, so I want to make sure that I'm using that that feature to the fullest of its potential. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Did I have any others that I wanted to link with runes? I don't think so. I don't think it makes any sense to do so. I mean, it might make sense thematically for the map, but it won't really make as much sense gameplay-wise to have a bunch of unbuildable terrain and stuff. Like, even here, I don't know where the ramp is going to go, or the path is going to go. I probably should have placed this side of the path a bit sooner, because I'm going to have to move some of these structures around probably, but that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Same for this area. Yeah, the fact that their projectile speed is... Actually, they might even be hit scan in that game. But it looks like they... No, I think they throw a spine. Their projectile speed is faster than their animation speed. That's sick. That's like the opposite of what you would want if it's a projectile attack. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's the same thing for queens. Throwing fucking knives at people. I should probably just run this. Where I was at with that. I can't remember if I actually planned this out already. Alright, they're going to want to start out with... adding literal indicators to your RTS. Okay. I wonder what I'm going to start this player out with. Like, part of me says I want to start everybody out with nothing in the early missions. But another part of me says it doesn't really make that much sense. In the context of Fenix is surrounded by shit. And, you know, he's going to be like three-wayed. There you go. Gangbang. In the early stages. So, he's also supposed to have those... like his little fortress and stuff.
We had intended to construct photon cannons for defense, but I'm an orc.
When you make Warcraft in space. Yeah. I agree. Man, I can't wait for SI to give me the command that turns off the display of all of these fucks. I don't want to look at them. Right. Yeah, I think Dagoth will start out with more shit than you might expect. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and Fenix can be like, there's more Zerg here. Please save me. There's actually a room for more gateways over here. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it'll work out a lot. A lot better than the alternative, which would be starting everybody out even-keeled. I think even one of the things that I'll probably end up doing is pre-placing an infested command center for Chestnut in the first Terran mission, just so that they have a little something. It only makes sense. Especially since that was initially one of the things that, like, Raynor was panicking about and stuff. One thing I might do, actually, now that I'm thinking about this ramp again, I might send this over to DF and say, like, here's a baseline for a ramp. If you can you like make it? Can you depthify it? Because it does not look like it's the proper depth trim. 1 forge, 2 forge. Yeah, can you make it cool? And shield batteries. You mean when we were talking about UED commanders' entrenched positions in fortresses? I know what you're talking about. We had some choice words for him. I think it's really cool that you, as the player, have the opportunity to handle a significant amount of tech from the early missions. I almost feel like I want to enable way more tech in the early levels, but I don't know how to do that without it feeling potentially overwhelming to the average player who doesn't know anything about the project. So I think the function of the early missions should allow you to explore the changes to the tech tree, the changes to the game, and then move on from there relatively quickly. They assume competence of the player. That's one thing I definitely want to keep doing. Right, yeah. No, I think that I have some really, really cool ideas for the other missions that are going to involve, sieging larger areas or whatever, larger sections of fortresses or something like. For example, my idea for Full Circle is really cool, in my opinion. You're up against, 3 Protoss AI. You start out with Daggett and the 2 players, so it's a 3v3 from the get-go, and once you secure the Overmind's drop zone, he lands in the map and establishes his own base. And once that happens, almost immediately afterwards, Alderus arrives in the far north of the map behind the remaining bastions of the other Protoss, and sort of takes command of the field, and that's when shit is supposed to escalate into the 11th hour. Here's the final fight of the Protoss, basically. So you get a nice confrontation between the two, which obviously wasn't there to begin with. They were interacting with one another. Obviously the Protoss and Zerg were fighting, but their leaders never speak to one another, and it would be cool, I think, to have them be operating in the same battlefield. So hopefully that works out. We shall see. And speaking of different factions, one of the things that I was thinking about recently was, alright, it would be really nice if I could hide these pylons. I can't tell if this is a legal building placement or not. Okay, it is. Oh yeah, I've got to place contingency positions for the tech structures. So I think if the natural is so close to his main, if he loses his main and all he's got is his natural, he's probably not going to last very long. I'll humor myself there, I guess. Pray it never comes to pass. Another thing that I've been thinking about with regards to the different factions and stuff is I am actually a lot more free to... Oh wait, I wanted to have a shield battery over there. I'm a lot more free to specialize the various AIs in pretty unique ways. Like, ways that I wouldn't have been able to before. Like, their personalities can be a lot more distinct from one another, just by virtue of them using different tech and stuff. Because there's more tech available. Especially once you get into Brood War tech, like, obviously, pretty much all of the UED are going to be using medics, because that's their tech. But now you can have an AI that decides to heal with either medics, because they've secured the, like, I don't know, they've impressed some UED soldiers into their ranks, or something, like, whatever the reason they have medics for. Or they could use the shaman. And, like, it's totally up, whatever I feel like having them, whatever suits their personality the best, whatever I feel suits their personality the best, is pretty much the only contingency at that point. So I think that will be pretty cool to see in action. This will be a very cramped base should they ever need to rebuild any of their tech. Just a fucking warning, dude. Don't lose your main, idiot. Yeah, I was thinking about that, actually. I don't have that many Brood War units planned. Like, obviously the medic is one that's showing up. And then there's, like, the Lurker, the Corsair, the Dark Archon, Devourer. Those, like, the cannon, the Valkyrie, like, the cannon Brood War units are going to be there. In addition to that, I'm thinking of, like, what tech defines the new factions that we see. And really, like, I don't know what would define the Zerg. There's not really, like, a new Zerg faction. You can say, like, the new Overmind is there or something, like maybe Daggett did some experiments. But for the most part, it's probably just going to be, like, there's nothing definitive there, like, no single theme to unify around. Whereas, like, Dark Templar and the UED are both factions of Protoss and Terrans that you can unify concepts around. So it's a lot easier in that context, to work with that idea, I think. Otherwise, I would say what else would I say after that? He will use Dark Templar in... yes, there's actually Dark Templar... there is a Dark Templar faction that shows up in the Zerg campaign. And I think he'll probably be an AI ally at some point in the Protoss campaign, considering you free his people in that micro mission, so... They would return the favor when Tassadar turns himself in and stuff. I think he probably will. I don't know about Dark Archon since I'm replacing the unit ID with the Hierophant, but I don't think I'm replacing the Corsair unit ID, or maybe I am. Let's find out. No, I am replacing their mana upgrade though. Okay. Yeah, I have enough slots for Corsairs. I probably will keep Dark Archons out. And instead, I've already decided to remove or redo the Corsair anyways. Where is the note on that anyway? Disruption Web now attaches to the caster, slowing movement speed and draining energy while active. So, it would be cool to see that sooner rather than Brood War. Like, not all the way, like waiting all the way until Brood War. I will almost certainly be modifying how Dark Archons work. I was actually thinking about what mind control would look like in Hydra. I don't think it's actually going to cost energy. I think instead, you can control a certain number of units per Dark Archon. And the higher number that is, the more energy is drained. And when they reach 0 energy, they return to the previous owner. Like when the Dark Archon reaches 0 energy, it rescinds control of it. So you can decide if you want to just mind control a bunch of stuff. Like it'll probably be a flat cost of like 15 or 25 or whatever. And maybe I'll determine the number of energy, like amount of energy drained based on a formula that takes into account supply or unit score or something. So that if you like mind control a Zergling, it doesn't drain as much as an Ultralisk, because then it's still one unit, but obviously there's a massive difference in utility. But I think that version of mind control would be a lot more... I don't know. It could be really abusable, but I think it's worth exploring at the bottom. At the end of the day. I really don't... I have a strong dislike for any spellcaster that has more than 2 abilities. Like, I really don't understand the idea behind it. I really don't like using active abilities, especially if they're just point and click. And that's like why I removed Ensnare and moved that over to the Broodling, like made it an upgrade of an existing ability. Like, I think it's fine to have tiered abilities and stuff, like upgrade an ability to add a new functionality to it. But the Azazel just has its passive and it has its defensive matrix that can get restorations effects added to it. And then you have what was the other one? The Savant has 2 abilities. The Science Vessel just has a Radiate now, because Defensive Matrix has moved to the Azazel, and EMP is now on a Radiate as a part of it. I think the only one that still has 3 abilities, technically, would be, like... I guess the Queen does still, because it also has Infestation, but I don't really count that as the same thing. It's more like a behavior. And the Defiler has Consume, still. I'm actually experimenting in my head with the idea of making High Templar channel during the cast of Psystorm and giving them an upgrade, like cheapening the research of Psystorm from 200 to 150 minerals of gas, but giving Psystorm an upgrade that makes, like, causes an explosion at the end of its cast time or something. You think about how long Psystorm lasts, it's not really that long, but if your High Templar is still immobilized for that duration, or you have to cancel, like, you can cancel the ability, but then it obviously cancels Psystorm. I think that would be a better way for positional gameplay. Like, then you punish players that are, like, mispositioning their High Templar. Like, if you overextend to get the quote-unquote perfect storm in Brood War, like, currently what just happens is the Zerg loses a bunch of units, and, you know, maybe they kill your High Templar, but you still get guaranteed kills and guaranteed damage. Whereas in my proposed alternative, if you misposition your High Templar like that, you overextend, then they just die.
You have been raised up from brutality.
And you don't really get that much damage either.
Kill the brute.
But then there's, at least at that point, there's like some counterplay there. It's like the same reason why I added a 1 second cast time to Plague. It's like, it just makes sense to me to have the Defiler, especially with how powerful Plague is now, with the changes. Like, that was a really insane spell to just be able to walk up, cast, and then run away. Like, I feel like it's going to be a lot more exciting when you see it. And you also will be punished for mispositioning your Defilers when you like run them into a tank line. If they still get their spellcast animation off, then it means that the tanks are probably not even sieged, right? Like, so there's stuff that you can do there. Darkstorm changes are pretty cool too, I think. It's going to be a very different experience for sure, but I'm pretty excited for it. Right, yeah. The only counterplay to Psystorm is to run away or, like, feint out your opponent. And pathing doesn't really allow for either of them to be very graceful. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see how people handle the Savant, though, because if you throw Energy Decay onto a High Templar, if it's missing 5 shields and it casts Psystorm, it just dies. So that's good because it deals it burns the unit of any mana that of any energy that it expends during the cast, like during the effect time. I think it's like a 5-second or 10-second effect. But during that window, if you cast a spell, like it's sort of like a soft silence. Like you know that you're going to take some damage if you use it. And so like Psystorm only costs 75 energy. But the High Templar only has 80 net health if you count in shields. So like maybe I'll make it so that the damage is an ignore armor. And so like shield and armor upgrades will still be valuable against it, but I think that'll be an interesting like trade-off there. Like Queens, I think, just kill themselves if they cast Spawn Broodling. Like it's gonna be interesting to see how that works. Maybe I could make it like explosive damage or something, and then organic spellcasters are a little bit less punished for it or something like that. But I think it could be cool. It'll be I think it'll be an interesting ability. That unit in particular is like very much. I want to make that unit work. I really want that unit to work out. So. I've got a lot of those, apparently. Not to suck my own dick on stream, but I'd rather not get banned. Okay, well we've set up Fenix's base and his natural, so that's enough for me. Oh shit! Did you guys hear that? 'Cause that one hurt. I agree. I think if it was a smaller scale RTS project, I probably would have more skill shots in it. As it is now, the individual significance of units is not very high, so losing some units here and there won't be the biggest of deals. I was also thinking about it more. I think instead of having an upgrade that increases your max supply, I'm probably just going to make the default supply cap 300 instead of 200. I don't think that that would offset the balance of any particular map that I'm planning on doing too much. And upgrading supply just feels very strange to me. It's probably okay, but it's like not really... I don't know. Still thinking about that one. Alright, I need to run the logger here, which means I need to plug it in. Man, it's so nice that this is the only shit I'm going to be doing for... setting up this base layout shit. It's so nice. I just gotta figure out what 156 is. Oh yeah, it would be one hell of a wild ride if I didn't have something for this. So it looks like I actually missed the... I missed a pylon somewhere. Who knows where. Probably this one. 496. No, that's one, alright. I don't actually know. That one's only important for the robotics facility. We can make, or robotics support bay, we can make that one the last one. And this photon cannon, which one would that be? 16, 32, 20. Was it this one? Did I ever do this one? No. That ain't it. $16, 32, 20, 80, that's the one. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. 1952. 1984. Oh wait, I'm looking for a photon cannon. There you go. Alright. Now I just need the Nexus. Since apparently I didn't place one over here. Okay. And I've done a lot over the years in Brood War, but doing this for like hours on end has really tested my patience, man. More than pretty much anything, I think. As I'm sure one can imagine. Yeah, that's why I want to keep it to a minimum, especially when I'm streaming. Okay. We are missing a few guards here, but that is a-okay, man. Dude, I wish I was eating chicken. I should have eaten more food before I started working with it. 'Cause now I'm hungry. What's up, Connor? Welcome. That is fine. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just about done setting up this skeleton for this lovely experience. Hello, Halo Dude Cool. Welcome. How you doing, man? Well, I hope your nap was very pleasant. Oh, yes. Oops. Gotta love the whole max build thing. Definitely don't have to worry about that with Zerg, at least. Oh, I see what you mean. Well, hopefully it isn't too crazy for you. Oh shit. So far, so good, man. I'm just slapping this thing together real quick. Can I even put a photon cannon on the first pile? Yes, I can. Oops, destroyed. These two, right? Yeah. Nice. Watching this live stream is very relaxing. Well, that's pretty cool, man. Hopefully, you don't feel like napping again. Or maybe you do. Maybe it's a good thing. ASMR, audio only, clicking. That'll be what it is. Occasional random ranting. What's up, Random Precision? Welcome. Glad you're enjoying. I'll do my best not to freak out in the middle of doing something and start screaming and then kill the vibe. It would be pretty bad. Okay, I think I've got what I need for the expansion. Oh, I need to set up targeting. Oops. Should just cacophony the stream. Yeah, there you go. Now you're thinking. Oh, I need to, what did I put in here? Westman only. What is Westman only? Oh, what's this? Easy, dude. Some men just want to watch the world grow. Bone main. Naturally. Bone main. Of course, this is Daggeth's main. I don't know why I'm doing that. Is that on the... That's on the agenda. We'll put that as his last expansion. So. Bone main. Sorry about the mic rattling. Should be fixed now. We can hope. I gotta get a better mic stand or something. Mic arm. Swing arm. At least I can always blame Mike for all my problems. All my faults. Which is over here. Alright, so we're almost done plugging in numbers. Isn't that so exciting? Chestnut third is... I never remember which one is his third. I think it's this one here. No, that's his natural. Well, that would be the one that he would take, so... 2926. We have two more to do because we already did Daggeth's main. So we'll just do Chestnut's main at that point, I think. I don't know if this stream does need more anime. At some point, I do have to add a Goku to Mixer play, but I've been putting it off. I was actually just gonna get that Tyler 1 scream, where he's just... Well, I'm not doing it now because I already promised I wouldn't scream if I could hold it in. But you know what I mean, probably. It's just some angry black guy screaming. He's not even black though, he's like, I don't know, maybe he is black. I don't remember. He's a popular streamer, most people know what I'm talking about. Real question is he even going to have enough pylon space? I think he does. So we know, get rid of that. We know 1, 2, I think 3 for the cyber core. At this point, he'll have 1, 2, 3. I don't remember which one is the 4th pylon. 1568. $17.92. Okay, so that is the 4th one. So he should be able to build like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot. Oh, I guess the second forge is required for... Or this last pylon is required for the second forge. He's gonna want to set his shit up quick. I wonder if there can be an AI control opcode at some point to make it so that Protoss don't immediately try to rebuild pylons around their unpowered structures. So I could have stuff like an unpowered forge or something for an AI, and they wouldn't immediately run for it to try to repower it. I guess it would be an incredibly niche situation that you would want something like that, but it might be useful. Might be useful to do that, make that a default behavior for non-Protoss AI, so they stop building supply depots and overlords everywhere when they have a disabled unit. Might be useful. So aside from that issue you came across and your lack of appreciation for the shamans, what's your take on the mission so far, Connor? Is there like a specific player or composition or something that's giving you the most trouble that you think is like not you're not really equipped to deal with? Connor may have been AFK when I asked that question. Rest in peace. Two, three, six. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, so this must be 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the only thing that makes sense. There's 28 in this list. God damn it. How did I screw this one up? Oh, shucks, guys. Number 6. Oh, I already accounted for that apparently. 1, 2, 3. That's the 5th one, so the second forge should come way earlier. So. So the 11th. So from 11 photon cannons and on is when that would be associated with that one. I've figured it out. Took me a second. As usual. Do I know how the normal shuttle AI works when if does it grab units? So, the same is true for all transports, but the AI will only be using transports if the unit that it needs to go somewhere, if it's issued an order to target a place that it can't reach by land. The only change with shuttles is there is some hard code that makes Reavers use shuttles if they are available for part of their path. I don't remember what I don't know if the formula was ever discovered, because we don't have the source code for StarCraft, so we can't really figure that out. But for example, trying try to use a region on this particular map to show you. There's not really many. Well, if I wanted my Zerg, the crimson stuff, the maroon stuff, is all Zerg stuff. I'm just using Protoss structures since they don't spread creep, so they're not going to be. It's not covering the entire map in creep. But this is a Zerg AI. If I wanted him to use overlords to transport an attack, I would have to make him prepare his attack in this area because it's not possible to reach by land. It's an island, like a high ground island. And then I would have to target like an area that also can't really be reached by land or something. Or like I would have him have this Zerg player, you know, prepare over here, since this isn't reachable by land. Or like over here, technically isn't reachable by land. And that would make him use overlords for that. I think the only thing that's specific to shuttles is the Reaver thing. But the only... The difference is they can't see buildings, but they can see terrain. They can see terrain and doodads. But if you were to, like, say, take this Zealot, for example, and add this Zealot to an attack group, and then the attack group targets anywhere, it doesn't matter where, but you've walled him off with a bunch of structures, pretend he can't get through there. There you go. So say you've done that. Now he can't escape. He might be able to through here, but pretend he can't. He'll just spin here. He'll never request a transport. It's just like a deficiency in the AI's code. They can't see buildings as part of pathing. Now that's why, like, in some maps with... Well, actually, I don't know how many maps with AI anybody has really played if they're not a campaign player, but... You'll sometimes see, like, SCVs or probes or something get stuck behind buildings when they're repairing or building something. It happens all the time, and it's just part of... Like, the AI will never kill the unit, and they'll never try to transport it either. Eventually, we'll have some way to go around that. Hopefully that answered your question anyways. Yeah, exactly. So, like, to use this example again, if I use this high temple, or this temple area, and I told them, prepare your attack here, and target, you know, down here, they would probably use transports to get here, and then just, like, the overlords would move down here with the units, and the units would unload, and then just walk down here. So it's not really that useful in that case. So... No problem, man. I have seen some cases where it seems like the AI does use transports, like, there is a map that comes to mind, actually. The original version of Hydra for SCR, which is now in my archive where it belongs. I guess I'll use this version. So, the original version, I would sometimes, like, you know, prepare an attack in this island or this island or something, and then target over here, like behind the mineral line, and you would think that they would just drop it when they reached over here in this, like, long strip, this ramp, but sometimes they would fly all the way over. So I don't know what is exactly dictating that, but... You're changing a map that has shuttles and trying to figure it out? Okay. Yeah, it's, AI is... We know a lot about AI now, like we being, like, the modders who mess around with that stuff. But it depends on what specifically is, the problem with something. That can completely change our whether or not, like, we have enough knowledge to really do anything about that, unfortunately. Yes, I have noticed that when the order is a spell cast, it's more likely to be picked up. But I haven't done enough tests to know whether or not that's like an empirical thing. I think this is the one. Yeah, we got everything. Nice. Alright, town threads are done for the main and the natural. Should be good to go there. What do we need next? We did the expansion stuff. Nice. Yeah, no problem, man. In that Terran map I was showing you a second ago with like the pathways and stuff, one of the things that I noticed happened a lot is I would have some spellcasting orders for High Templar casting Psystorm, and they would often get picked up by shuttles, even though they were connected through land. But I don't know if that's hard code from Blizzard's end, or like, I would assume it has something to do with something that Blizzard set up. But it's not easy to know for sure. As far as max goes, just copy the syntax over anyways. If you're looking for any more help with map making, random precision, you can always pop into my Discord server. We don't usually have too many questions about that stuff, so anybody who tends to ask stuff for like technical assistance tends to get some answer in short order. Link should be down in the panels somewhere. Yeah, no problem, man. Always nice to have more people playing around with Brood War. Hey, you can't scream at me, Shirklastic. We're doing a chill stream, okay? But thank you for screaming anyways. It was pretty fun. Yeah, Brood War map making is like... It's simple enough to get into that it's easy enough to get started on working like a proof of concept, and then you figure out how good it is and where you want to go with it at that point. So. Would you say then, Shirklastic, that your phone was flooded with text messages? Just kill me, honestly. Which Harvey? Fuck yeah. So glad I already did all this, so I can just copy paste it and change some values. Okay. I think we are good to go for the upgrades, which means now we just have to do the attacks and the targeting regions. Did I even do those for this AI? I don't... Yeah, clearly I did not finish that, so maybe I'll hop over to that next. Oh, okay. I just wrote it all out then. Cool. Hey. All right, region time it is once more. Onto the breach. What a song this game is. You might be able to use a trigger that detects when a shuttle and a High Templar are in the same location, and you can run enter closest transport or something. Or enter transport, I don't remember what the AI script is called. An order is given to a location. Do you know where in the location the order is actually given? You can sort of track that with the AI debug plugin, but it's 116.1 only. And it's not, I don't really know what determines that. So, Psystorm normally targets a unit's position, not a unit itself. It targets the terrain at the point where the unit like attacks somebody or something like that. That's how Psystorm is usually cast anyways. Hello, I'm going to struggle to say your name, Iva Neox. Hopefully I said it correctly. Welcome. High Templar will also cast Psystorm if they get attacked while having enough energy. But yeah, to do it unprovoked, I think it has to be a certain number of enemy units in an area, like clumped together. Don't remember what the conditions are. Maybe Firegrass can tell me in a second. So it's based on the total enemy life, not the number of units. If the potential target area has total HP plus shields equal to or bigger than this value, the AI will select that target. What's up, Shovel? Welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Yeah, I don't know what the exact term would be. I know, I don't actually know if the person who coded this and programmed this particular program has a, actually had the... like access to the source or reverse engineered enough to know. I think Sherclastic's in Texas, by the way, Shibble. Pretty sure. Yeah, so the boundary is 96 squared or cubed. I think it's squared. So basically it's like think it's this. I'm not sure. Because Psystorm isn't really that big, right? So, although maybe a 128 wide area would do it better. Awesome. Glad to be of service. Wow, you really got me with that one. I have been dismantled. There's nothing more to say there.
Hey, man.
What's up? Some groovy ass music, dude. Give me the Bing Bong song. Hey. Cool. Now we're done with that. Expansions and attacks are all that's left. annihilated my microphone. Destroyed. Receive hearts to increase rank. Give me your heart, UED Commander. Welcome back. Why is escape not on for all these dialogues? Well, it's a good thing that failed anyways, because that was a giant prank. Heart of the Swarm, preferably entirely from your memory. Yeah, that's a good point there, actually. The fuck? Wow. How much money do I start these clowns out with? Probably just 100, yeah. Yeah, I'm not particularly surprised, I guess. It's pretty annoying. Why are there a bunch of overlords over? Get these clowns out of here. What's the deal here, man? Hey, man. Stuck on something. You guys like the void? I hope so. Because you're getting it. So why are they stuck on 3 cannons? It looks like they refused to build their shield battery. Oh yeah, that was a problem. For some reason they won't build their shield batteries ever. I don't know why. Project Amon. Wonder if the shield battery issue is actually the same issue that was happening earlier with other stuff. I wouldn't really be that surprised, to be honest. Try offsetting them by 2 pixels. Maybe that'll fix all my problems. Bye. Hi. I've noticed that these AI really don't like get old peons. Hey, what an asshole. You buyed me, dude. Shit seems to be working appropriately. Besides the shield batteries. I don't see an observatory either. It's probably something they're not able to build for some silly reason, so we'll offset the observatory. Oh wait. Did I put that in there? I'm not seeing any shield batteries yet, so I assume they just are completely incapable of building them for some bizarre reason. As usual. No. That's only good for a single time. You'd have to like loop it, which would be really silly. They still don't want to build their observatory. There's another alternative explanation, I suppose. Alternate explanation. No, it is enabled. Okay. Well, I don't know then. I love that more than 10 minutes in, they still don't have any fucking upgrades. They just finished. Very silly. Hi. What's up? Smash you, lol. Why? Why did they never build a second pylon? God damn it. Classic Reavers not moving to the right spot. I don't know what you're talking about with Russian protos. I mean, it's definitely a legal position for it, but I guess I'll move it over. I already tried the alternative. They don't do get old peanuts anymore. I don't know why. They just refuse. No, Artanis is electric blue. Fenix is mint. You're just a little too communist for my liking. Well, aside from setting up its inevitable billion expansions, there's really nothing else for me to do. Obviously, there's like the attacks and stuff that I can handle at some point. That's pretty good for about 2.5 hours. Still don't know the cause of the shield battery issue, but I guess with it being as reproducible as it currently is, I can send it to iQuare as a bit of test. I don't know what you're talking about at all, dude. It's over my head, whatever you're saying.
Oh no!
Exactly. Well, at some point I will get to the whole manual process of slowly chipping away at my sanity. Hope you guys like that little dance I did. But I think that's it for me, man. You, man. Hey, man. Hydra. Hey, Hydra. That's it, man. I got a wave emoji with your fucking names on it. So thank you to everybody who stuck around and hung around. I'll see you guys whenever I stream next. Probably tomorrow. Maybe not. Who knows? Bye.